Luca Nation.
Hell yeah.
This is like for people in the industry, they say this is like the Tuesday come down, you know? Do you go to a show, adrenaline's pumping on Monday, you say a whole bunch of crazy ass shit. And Tuesday it's a come down. So that's what we got for you guys. Now,
I'm the bad guy.
So we worked with Panini. These are the white sparkle cards from National, right? They were giving these away at National.
Yep, I gave a ton of those out on Whatnot.
The first 5 relevant comments on today's show, agreeing, disagreeing, LeBron's the GOAT, Andrew, you're an idiot, anything in between, just as long as it's relevant to today's show, I'm going to give away 5 of these to you guys.
Woo!
So welcome back to Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo, the greatest sports card podcast in the world.
Love it.
The floor is yours, King.
I got 1 or 2, posts today where it was like, these are who I listen to. People, they answer your call to action a little bit. Not as many as I would like, but, there were a couple of them out there. Mr. Sanders, the last one I got before the show. Thank you for that one. No, I think Chris Sanders. Not Frank Sanders, who was also a wide receiver in the 90s. Not Deion Sanders, not Barry Sanders, not Emmanuel Sanders. I got some topics for you. Can I see how they land? We could talk NBA. We could talk about tanking for Wembanyama 2 games into the season. We could talk about Ben Simmons.
We could talk about my abusive relationship with Whatnot.
Dude, yes, we should. That is great. Like that wasn't going to be one of my topics, but I said to Andrew today, I said, "Hey, Andrew, are you still selling?"
Take my eyes, but not my shirt.
He said, "Yes." I said, "Why?" So. And he loves it. He loves Whatnot. So give me what it is.
The pain and pleasure centers are right next to each other in the brain. Sometimes the wires get crossed.
I love being on Whatnot on Sunday morning talking about the NFL. I like their sales stuff. So talk to me about Whatnot. Tell me why. Give me 2 reasons why Whatnot is the place you love to spend your time. I like when they say,
"Are you teeing me up?" Or are you trying to get me in? Are you trying to put baby in a corner right now?
No, I'm trying to actually.
That's a sponsor.
You like Whatnot. Dude,
that's a sponsor.
So say something positive. You
could get quick liquidity. It might not be a lot of liquidity, but you must get some quick liquidity.
You can sell whatever you want, whenever you want. That's definitely true.
Make sure to get your show featured if you want to make some money.
I like going on there and being called Grandpa. It just tells you the age of the people who are on there usually. Like Grandpa Slaps. I had to look that one up and the Urban Dictionary, and there were pictures, and I didn't want to see what Grandpa was doing and who he was slapping. But it was definitely interesting. So my topic.
The tech is amazing.
Yes, the tech's good.
Our community there is incredible. Something that's a little difficult for me is whenever I feel like I'm selling on there, it's like me versus the audience, and that always kind of sits in the back of my mind, right?
Do you think that's less about Whatnot and more about just kind of where we are right now in comp world and comp land? That no matter what, if you're selling something, even if it's something that hasn't sold recently, or even if it's something you graded yourself, you got a million, data people on there saying, what are you talking about? This didn't come for that.
Not in person. On the internet, yeah, but in person, it's more like you go up to a dealer and you see kind of their table, and you're like, oh, they have 4 Giannis cards, 10 Currys, but no LeBrons, and you have a LeBron, so you could give them inventory, right? So you have a little bit more context of, oh, he needs a LeBron card, he has a lot of Currys, so maybe we do a deal, and I'm looking for Currys. So, I just did a deal with a guy. I traded my Jordan Poole courtside for a Giannis auto.
Yeah,
I have a ton of Poole. The Giannis auto is probably cheaper. If I ran the Giannis auto, it's maybe $1,400. The Poole is probably $1,800. But at the same time, I have so much Poole, but I didn't have a Giannis auto. So that win-win, I never really know if I feel that on the selling online.
All right, makes sense. Listen, there's something to be said about it, right? I'll go to shows. I try to make trades. I try to, give stuff to folks. The easiest thing in the world is to just sell it. If it's something you want to move on and you can't do a trade, you can't do it, just sell it and you'll find out what the liquidity is. But you're right about this, right? It's,
I wouldn't auction in this environment.
You could really get burned auctioning things off. You gotta.
That's actually the interesting thing that I realized, Gage. It's not that it's that soft of a market. You just have to work harder to get your price, so to speak, whether that's in trade and sale. But if you run auctions right now, there's so much inventory ending at the same time, you might not get what you think, even if your card might be worth it on the open market.
And I have it on good information that some consigners are getting record numbers of cards in for consignment.
Is that right?
Consigners are swamped right now.
But, I mean, we always
It shouldn't
say
surprise anyone.
But the sports card hobby or the community is engaged. They know when there's a lot of cards and they know when there's not a lot, like being sold.
So I mean, listen, that's it. It's a very interesting thing. So here's my topic du jour. And this kind of I'm going to tell you how my brain goes here and follow me along for the ride. It's a little bit of a cage bumpy, probably minute and a half. Okay.
This is what they love.
Jerry Rice rookie. It was my most recent appearance on the Iconic 100. A lot of views. Got some really nice comments on there, right? People like, I can't believe this is iconic. People, people saying, and then you got, PWCC coming out, Adam saying how this was at the time, 71% of the people who voted had this on their list. It was the highest percentage of like iconic votes of anyone. And one of the comments I saw was, up until last week, this was the green Jerry Rice that everyone wanted.
I saw that comment.
Okay, so whoever that is, we should give you credit because Bull Andrew and I saw it. So you're doing a good job of getting your content out there.
Keep rocking. I'll find it.
Might have been signed and slabbed. It might have been. I don't know who it was, but he is definitely making comments on it too. But just a good comment there. And then I saw PWCC posting. I think it was on Twitter about records for athletes. In the last couple of sales, in their premiere and in their weekly, and it said Jerry Rice record sale, the PMG green. And we know that the rookie sold for over $100,000 recently. I think it might have gotten up to like 125 or even 130, but this PMG green sold for 150. And it got me thinking. The big prices on cards, a little bit has to do with what was the chase, what was iconic, what was the things that people looked for in the wheelhouse of the money now. So think about this, right? The people who are the collectors in the hobby. I'm an old man. In the hobby.
People with money.
I'm talking about the people who were here before and are still here. I don't know how old Nat Turner is, but I'll use him as a good example, right? And the 90s basketball crowd. The people who were collecting it before have, I believe, been the leaders in this, in this boom and subsequent bust. The PMGs, the metal stuff, the numbered 90s inserts crowd, the jambalayas, right? I am too old for that to hit home with me, right? By the time 96 happened with Chrome and 96, 97, 98 and all these PMGs, I was already in college and on my way to and in law school. So I was not doing the cards. I had moved on from cards to kegs, right? I missed that. So
Okay.
those cards don't speak to me. They just don't, right? But it's obvious that the people who are in the know, the people who are at the forefront of the hobby right now, those are the cards that speak to them. So my question, and I'll get to you, is how long does something like that last? Does the PMG crowd, which makes those cards relevant and chases now, does that rotate out when those guys become me? And I'm not the old guy, I'm the grandpa. They're now the old guy. And the next thing comes in. The people who were collecting in 2008, 2009, the next money people come in 5 years. Is it replaced by Steph Curry, whatever it is those guys are chasing? And or, is there this constant rotation, right? Because I would tell you that, maybe 5-10 years back, right? It was people like me who had money would chase a Jordan 86 Fleer. But these guys might not chase the Jordan 86 Fleer. They chase, or the 86 Jerry Rice. They chase the PMG Jordan. They chase the PMG Jerry Rice. So what is going to come after that? Is it going to be, and does this continue to rotate out every 5 or 10 years as the collector, money changes? Is it going to be Logo Man in 10 or 15 years?
Cage,
or 20 years?
I felt left ashore for most of that, but then at the end, I kind of got you. Because I was going to say, like, how would I even possibly know?
No, but I mean, because you've now watched this, and also it's what speaks to you as a collector, and the difference, of course, is you kind of really just jumped into this 3-4 years ago.
I'll tell you what came to me at the end. If you
shoot,
want.
Please.
So you're a big rookie card guy, right? PMGs
Yes.
aren't rookie cards.
Correct.
So PMGs are SSP, right? Like if
Yep.
we use eBay terms.
Yeah, numbered, the quantity, that
Right.
kind of stuff.
Right. So SSP got its time, right? It was
Yep.
the last people SSP,
Yeah.
I think if you ask what would be ours, I think it's gonna be cool one of ones. From all
Okay. I think you
all
might be
those
right.
thousands of shields, it's gonna be what 50 are the coolest.
Everybody was chasing one of ones or logo mans or logo man one of ones or something like, you know what I mean? Like I'm always wondering, because here I am thinking, well, are PMGs really going to be like the card that everybody chases? I don't think so, because things have to be refreshed. What made rookie cards cool for me was when I was in the 80s, people were chasing Mickey Mantle's rookie, Hank Aaron's rookie. Right. And okay, well, now we got to get Mark McGuire's rookie, and we got to get Barry Bonds' rookie, and we got to get Ken Griffey Jr.'s rookie.
Can I contextualize that for people? Because I actually heard a good anecdote this weekend.
Shoot.
The reason they were chasing rookies is you'd be opening those packs at the store, and if you hit a rookie, you'd sell it back to the store owner and get packs in return to keep
more. Exactly. Same as breaking, same as anything else.
It wasn't like a PMG graded by PSA. It was right there after school. You're opening a pack, and if you hit a rookie, you get like 6 more packs. So you're like, if I just keep hitting rookies, I can open packs endlessly.
Right. Some dealers did that. I when I was opening for Shaq, or when I was opening to try to get, 87 tops, and I was looking for Bo Jackson's Future Star with the wood border, I was keeping them. You know what I mean? I was not giving those back.
You have foresight, my friend. You have discipline.
But you're right, though. I mean, that's the blackjack of it, right? You win a hand, you bet more. You win a hand, you can bet more. If you lose all your money, you can't keep playing. But if you win money, it is that gambler mentality. Right. Obviously, grading and, and speculating on it changed it. But my thing is more of, what is, and then think about it this way. What are kids going after now? Right. And I try to do this with my own son, because he doesn't care about Obsidian. He doesn't care about like an eye black one of one. Recently, he cares about Pokemon, and his kids in school are
you like that card I bought.
I know. I'm using it as an example. I'm sorry.
He just cuts me in.
He doesn't care about the laundry tag Mahomes. Sorry, Marina.
Mahomes is leading in QBR. That's basically
he's great. That's not the point. The point is what is that next round, right? And how do we, if we're going to be long-term collectors / holder of cards, how does this conversation impact what we're doing with our collections, what we're doing with our long-term holds, right? I mean, do we care? Do you want to hold PMGs? Are PMGs a passing fad, right? Or are the people who are buying them now, they're the money people for the next 20 years, and that's going to continue to be chased?
Is it safe to say that the way I feel about LeBron is how you feel about PMGs?
No, because I have to understand that even though I didn't collect it, even though it didn't speak to me, that it does have a place in the hobby. You know what I mean? And
LeBron has a place in the NBA.
He has a place in collectors' hearts, hands, and collections, definitely. And there is a huge segment of people out there who love it. So to avoid having some exposure to LeBron as a collector, you do at your own peril, which is exactly why I guess you should compare him to PMGs for me, because for me to avoid PMGs would be I have a Shaq PMG. I bought one. Yeah. I paid a lot of money for it.
Shaq documentary is coming in November.
Cool. But I mean, I like Shaq. I mean, I think that's a cool one. I probably paid too much for it, but it's a cool card.
I think you paid too much.
I do. I always think I pay too much. I always do. I can't tell you a single
Andrew,
card.
You see that card I bought on eBay? Yeah. It's there for less.
Yeah. I mean, and by the way,
I heard a good thing. Ray Dalio talked about this in principle.
To be honest about that? Shoot.
He said the hardest thing for an investor is to see the ones that got away be successful. Do you understand what I'm saying? The hardest thing for an investor, this is Ray Dalio, Cage, one of the biggest investors, for the one that got away to be a success, right? Like, hey, I sold this too soon. Just everything. And it was successful. But what he said was, you have to apply that same logic to not just the winners, but also the losers, and make sure you net it out. Because the ones that if you sold this too soon and it became valuable, but you sold these too soon and they didn't, you have to net it out. And that was an interesting thing. I heard it yesterday.
I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, your wins and your losses. But you are the one who said this, 900 episodes here almost. You've said it probably 200 times to me. we focus on our losses way more than our wins. That's just a human nature. You know what I mean? Like if you had a card that you overpaid for, or you had a card that you should have sold for more, you could have 10 that you sold at the right time. It doesn't counter the one that you let get away. That's just human nature. And you've pointed that out.
You bet 10 out of 11? Fuck.
Well, so you understand. So who did a great job of this was on the stories yesterday. By the time you listen to this, it's probably not going to be there. But Ryan Cargalega too, who probably has had more wins than anyone in this hobby. All deserved, I think, right? I mean, 100,000, followers or whatever the hell he has. I guess there's literally 30 times as many people out there in love with Ryan than me. But anyway, it is what it is.
How did you get there?
Because I only have 3,200 followers, so 30 to 1. But what he did a good job with was
wild.
He posted that he once owned the Josh Allen Black Prism Rookie 1/1 auto. And I think he said he sold it for like $10,000. And he's, questioned, like, what would it be worth today? $1 million? Those are the kind of things that.
What was your one that got away? If you could have one back, one
card that I sold that I won?
No, one house.
I mean, I never owned a house outright. I still don't even own the one that I'm sitting in.
One card that got away that you could.
I don't know. I would have to think about that from the money perspective. I would have to think about it. I don't know the answer to that. I really don't, because I've sold a lot of cards. I've sold
You're
a
a
lot
flipper
of
by nature.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
You don't even collect.
I have a pretty nice collection.
You do.
I'll tell you that. I looked at my PWCC vault today, and I was happy with what I have in there.
That's a cool feeling. Like what would you call that? Like something like you go like you're like you have an hour and you're like.
I mean, no, I
have like
the kids on YouTube would say it's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. Looking at my PWCC vault today was satisfying. I have a nice combination.
You know the effort that went in, the wins and losses to get to this point?
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice combination of mid-grade cards with great eye appeal from the vintage side, some more modern, shiny stuff. There are a couple there that I think I took some gambles on and probably paid a little too much on. We'll see. We'll see if I grow tired of them, I may move them and move into something else, as I do often. Do I?
Can I rock through it and you tell me if I'm okay? So can I say your cards on the air or no?
Sure. I don't think I have any surprises.
Duncan PMG Gold, Duncan Prism Gold,
2012. Yeah.
Yep. Duncan Gold 2012. Shaq PMG Red.
Yep. I wish green.
Mantle 5.
Mm-hmm.
Montana Rice 10s.
Yep.
Type 1 photos. I can't go through them.
Yeah, but I don't have them in my vault anymore. I got them all here with me.
Mannings. Really nice rookie Mannings that are numbered.
So those
Griffey Rubies.
So Griffey Ruby, the Manning legacies, the Flair Showcase Legacy rookies. Yeah.
How did I do so far?
You have almost everything, I think. You might have gotten them all. I think you might have gotten everything.
Shoot up.
I have a Duncan. I have a Duncan Ruby. I have a Duncan Rubies also.
Interesting.
Duncan Star Rubies to add to the Duncan.
You and Duncan have a thing, huh?
Gold.
Duncan Go Nuts.
But yeah, I think that might be it. I don't know that I have anything beyond like the 2012 Prism. I don't think that I have anything more, modern than that. I don't think.
Cade had Christian McCaffrey NTs, but he was like, "This doesn't fit my vibe. I need to get him out. I know he's going to get traded, and I could sell him for way more, but this just doesn't look good."
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't like him. So I
didn't like him. They're bringing down my average.
No, I mean, so. I mean, listen, there are ones that I missed out on, ones that I sold. I mean, look, it all kind of layers into stuff, right? So I regret selling a lot of my vintage baseball cards. I regret not buying the LeBron X Factor PSA 10. Yes, 100%. I got good money for most of the cards that I sold, but, I miss having a Hank Aaron PSA 8. I got to add another one of those to my collection, a rookie. The Kareem, which we talk about, I haven't seen a nicer one than the one that I owned come up for sale in a long time.
The 8.5.
The 8.5. I mean, I got good money for that, and that was a nice.
That's a great episode.
Yeah, that was a good come up. So I can't really complain. But those are the deals that I made that continue to build the collection that I have. So I can't regrets from cards can be purchases you made too. And here's a story. Just because there are people out there who pay too much for cards, and they listen. They're like, "Oh man, I'm an idiot. I'm gonna leave. This is not for me." We all make mistakes. I'm gonna give you a story of one. I'm a Griffey guy, right? I'm a Griffey guy. I try to build a nice little Griffey collection up, right? I do. I could show them off one day. Maybe one of the cage videos I'll do my Griffey collection. But there are certain Griffey cards that I collected in the early '90s that are not ones that people. I mean, they're not. I bought the Ruby, right? But that didn't speak to me as a collector. That's just I bought that because I'm being told.
He wants the Desert Storm. He wants the army to touch it.
The Desert Shield. Yeah, exactly. I'd like that one. Yes, but. No, but there are other ones that I like, right? But in the search for what could be great, what could be next, like I remember the beginning of metal. When metal came out, there was actually like metal in like the earlier to mid 90s, before PMGs. There were metal sets that came out where there were no PMGs. There were no numbered cards. There was like shredders, and there was like a die cut Michael Jordan. Like you could buy them in drugstores. You could buy them in like the Dwayne Reed. You could buy them in and metal packs were there. And I was told that because there was a die cut in there, that if you got them to open a new box and you went like this to each one of the top corners of the packs, you could feel which one had the die cut in it because you could squeeze the pack.
So Jordan metal inserts that are worth thousands of dollars were in Dwayne Reed in these little packs?
So not the later ones, but yeah, look up if you want to. I might be 94 or 95 metal. There's like a slick silver maybe, but then there's one it's called something else. They were one per box. It's got like a die cut, like a basketball shape. It's like a circle die cut on it, and he's dribbling the ball. And then it wasn't just Jordan; it was everybody. But they were one a box. They're not exactly rare. I saw one at the show.
Like silver,
but that's a different one. That's
Jordan 95.
But Jordan metal die. It might be 94, right? And this is before numbered cards and the whole deal. It might be 94 Jordan metal, die cut. Put that in there. But anyway, so while Andrew's looking for that, I'll tell. So I remember metal, but I mean, metal for me, that wasn't something that anybody collected. It wasn't like by the time metal became big with the PMGs, I was already I had moved on to girls. So I was at the National, not this year's National year before it. Jordan, yeah, that's it right there, 100%. Maximum metal or something maybe. Yeah,
maximum metal.
So you see how it's corner. So if I mean, you're not supposed to search packs, right? But this is what people do in the drugstores. People used to be able to find the insert in the box. You just squeeze the pack like that, and you were able to find that card. You killed the corners of all the other cards, but nobody cared about any of the other cards. There was nothing numbered. There was nothing rare. So anyway, this was metal. This was metal that nobody cares about. All of a sudden, though, 2-3 years later, everybody cares about metal, right? Yeah, see? They're all over the place. They're not rare. So anyway, metal.
Let the metal lovers live.
So I decided, hey, I'm going to get some metal. What's out there? So I look at Ken Griffey Jr. There is no PMG green of Ken Griffey. There's no PMG like the standard one that like the real PMG. There's the Fugazi PMGs that people are trying to make into real PMGs. There's the retro ones. There's also like the championship ones, but they don't have greens, right? There's no PMG green of Griffey, which is, that would be a huge card, I think. But in that, I think it's 95 or 96, in the year where they're, maybe 96, the year where there otherwise could be a metal one, there is a Griffey metal titanium. Pull that one up for me, right? Ken Griffey Jr. metal titanium.
Guys, right? Hang on. Cage is nerding out right now. You're getting a treat. I usually get this kind of stuff behind the scenes. I call this
this is a loss for me.
With Cage.
This is a loss for me. You can pull this up, and I think people should hear that it's not, well, it's a loss. It's not a loss till you sell. And I like the card, but.
What's the card?
Just type Griffey metal titanium. And now you guys know titanium, I think, as like there's a Kobe titanium, which is the circle, like the die cut clear kind of deal. Scroll down, obviously, it's not going to be there. So that card right there, see, $9.99. So this titanium card, not exactly rare. This is a CSG 95. That's a cool card. But this to me was sort of like it's the metal but titanium version of the card. Now do me a favor, pull up PSA's pop report and find that card in PSA 10. Because that's, of course, what I look for, right? So, and look at all the other pops.
33.
Okay, good guess. Barry Bonds, I think, is 0, just to let you know, because these were metal, and it was chippy metal, and it was real difficult to get these things in great condition, whole deal. So I forget what it was that I sold at National. I sold some cards at National in Chicago, and I was walking around with a little extra cash, and I was looking for a nice Griffey to add to my collection. And I happened upon a table and saw one of these, a Griffey titanium, cool looking card, like totally metallized card. He's
3.
drifting back, and there's 3 PSA 10s. So I said, holy cow. This card,
bonds.
The 0 bonds. So don't click anything else yet. Just leave it right where you are now. Don't leave this screen, okay? So there are no comps on this. 9s were selling for like $60 or whatever it was at the time. And there were no 10 sales because only 3 of them. Now I'm holding one of the 3 in my hand. And people say, don't be afraid to make the comp. Don't be afraid to set the price. I've done it before and it's worked out for me. But on this one here, I had no idea. There's 3 10s. It's Griffey. It's metal from the 90s. Maybe this is the one that people will gravitate towards because they can't get a PMG green. There's only 3. And if you look at the pops, there's only a couple of hundred. How many total have ever been graded by PSA? 100? 103?
56 Griffies.
No, but look, 103 for the whole set.
Yep.
56 total graded in the pop report. But it's not a rare card. You could buy this card for a couple bucks. It's not that it's rare at all. It's just that there's none in really great condition. They chip like crazy, just like the PMGs. So I'm looking at this card. I forget what I paid. It was most likely about $2,000 that I paid for this. It might have been $2,200. It might have been $1,850. I don't think it was under $2,000. I'm just going to go with $2,000. I just put the cash on the table, and I was happy. I left. I showed this card off to people. I'm like, have you ever seen this? No, there's only 3 of them. It's amazing. I set the comp. Now what I want you to do, because the other day I was looking at my Griffies, and I'm like, I wonder if any of these have sold or if there are any. No, go right back.
I'll be back. I need them to see your expressions.
I wanted to look. I'm like, I wonder if there's any available. I wonder if no for sale. Oh, maybe I'll get all 3 of them. I like the card. It's a cool looking card. But then I did what you just did. I wanted to make sure there's still 3. There's still 3. I clicked on APR. Now click on APR. Right there on the same page. Instead of the pop, the APR. And then go to Griffey and go to the 10. So
click on APR.
Scroll APR. Yeah. By the way, guys, if you don't know how to do this, watch this. Is a cool one to now scroll down to Griffey. Click on Griffey. That will show you the auction prices realized for this card. Right?
14
now,
sales, 651
click
bucks.
the 10. And what you'll see here is that on eBay, a PSA 10 sold for how much? No, that's 9s. Click the 10. You didn't click the 10.
Right here.
Go up. Yeah, well, it's there. But if you want to, you can only show 10s. See the 10 under it says grade? Just click the 10. And there you go. And I'm looking at this and I go, oh, my God, a 10 sold. Like right after I bought mine. This was like a month after National for $260. I would have bought that. If you are the person listening to this now that bought this card for $260, please message me. I will double your money. Even though the market is down, you bought this in the peak, I will pay $600, more than double. I'll pay $600 for this card. I don't know. It was on eBay, I guess, and I wasn't looking for it because I just bought one of 3. I'd never seen the card before. In what world should a second one show up on eBay? That is a I want to call it a loss. Even though I still own the card, I'm not selling it for $260. But I looked at this and said, wow, this could be the next $10,000, $15,000 card. There's 3 of them. I'm going to set the price. And boy, did I set it wrong.
As a newer entrant in the hobby, PSA 10 snob. PSA 10 snob.
It's true. It's true. It's true. I got bit by being a PSA 10
I'm buying the same card just for 30x more money because the plastic around it is really pretty.
So haven't I? Well, the ones that I have bought are numbered now. The only one that I have in my collection, well, there's 2, but I changed. These are buys from last year.
Like for $260, I do want the 10.
The Tiger Woods Sports Illustrated for Kids, not a rare card, but my 10 is BGS 10 snobbery. 10. It's a BGS 10. Same thing with the LeBron Refractor. Not a rare card in and of itself, but in a BGS 10. So I did pay more for the grades on those.
BGS 10 doesn't feel like snobbery.
Why?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I can't explain. Maybe the community can, but like the PS, because yeah, it just doesn't feel the same. So
anyway, I still own that card, and I'm not going to sell it because if the real value, quote unquote, is closer to $250 than $2,000, I'm not selling.
Dude,
but anyways,
Ian will love that card.
He will. He'll love the card.
That's an Ian card.
But I mean, Ken Griffey Jr., right? It's weird because you say he's overrated. You say baseball's overrated. But I mean,
no, I didn't say baseball's overrated.
Star Rubies, who the hell cares? And listen, it goes into a new kind of thing. Like, the football inserts.
Kobe cares. He likes the
football inserts that are going crazy now. Call me an idiot, please. And I've been an idiot before. I said the Yankees were going to win 4 straight against Houston. I'm an idiot all the time. Call me an idiot. But to me, this resurgence in football inserts smacks of people not knowing where to put their money and looking for something else that may go up just because it may be the next thing to try to put your money in and hope that it goes up. Not, wow, I need to have those cards. Like, otherwise, they would have been scooped up already.
If Shaq goes for 24, football players kind of fade into anonymity way more and way faster than basketball. Just because of, like, you see the football players, like Fred Taylor.
First of all, they start anonymous because they have helmets on.
Right.
So you don't even have that original connection to them anyway. Only a select few do you know what they look like without their helmet on. Those are the ones like Josh Allen doing commercials and stuff, you know?
Like Fred Taylor was there, Terrell Davis. Like, if honestly, I would say he would be like, obviously, they're athletes, but I don't think that they're as recognizable. So I'm totally with you on the football inserts. I don't know. I don't think so.
I remember being the National in Chicago, and people had a couple of basketball PMGs in their case, but a bunch of football, and no one cared about the football ones. Greens, reds, you name it. Marinos, Steve. I saw so many of them. People were like, yeah, but that's football. Now all of a sudden it's football. So you know, I mean, yeah. So anyway, that's where my brain is today on the card stuff. You know.
What was your other topics? You had it sounded like you had a few.
Yeah, I had a couple. So basketball, right? I think basketball, why people put their money in basketball and have fun putting their money in basketball, and why we're continuing to see people put more and more money into the modern guys and more modern guys is because the way that the game is skewed now from a stat comparison, the modern guys are always going to compare favorably to the guys before it. And let me give you an example, and you can talk about this, right? I'm not telling you to go out and buy Kyrie Irving or Desmond Bane. But Desmond Bane is a plumber, right? We say, hey, Bob Cousy played against plumbers. Bane is a plumber compared to the rest of this league. He's a great player. He's a role player, but he's not superstar class. He is the plumber that Bob Cousy used to play against. But in last night's game, Desmond Bane, John Morant, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant all scored 35 points. You had 4 guys, a duo on each team against each other, scored 35 points each, right? Used to watch basketball games in the 80s and 90s, and the team scored 85. It was a 92-85 game, and you're like, wow, that team with 92 has a sick offensive scheme. They scored 92 points. Now you got pairs of guys scoring 70 against each other. The rest of the team would have scored 4. But instead, it's 134 to 124. So, of course, when the plumber has 35, 8, and 6, he'd be the MVP in the 80s. So I think basketball, and you tell me if I'm wrong, is doing a very good job for the people who are coming in now. Why I think basketball skews right, and football to a certain extent also, is the numbers being put up now are their video game numbers by comparison to what the other stars did. Football, same thing. Quarterbacks. I mean, what these quarterbacks are putting up number-wise, the game didn't play like that. Look at why Brady's first 50 touchdown, season in his career was when he was 117 years old. So I like to look at stuff like that because if I'm putting money into a hobby, into a sport, into cards, into young stuff, I like to look beyond that, right? The baseball, besides Aaron Judge this year, who had video game numbers, the numbers were not like, oh, wow, these guys are the new Babe Ruth. They are killing the old guys who used to play against plumbers. No, but the football and basketball, I would feel comfortable putting my money in. You? What do you think about these guys 35, 35, 35, 35?
A lot there.
I always bring a lot to the table, man. When I come with the thunder.
Yes, you do, man. I mean, honestly, guys, 35 minutes in, this is one of those where I'd highly recommend, rewind, maybe go back and listen. And, the Griffey story with the Pop 3 and a little bit of a trip down memory lane might be fun for you guys to go back and listen. With today's NBA, there's nothing I could disagree with. I think you said it all perfectly.
Right, I really do. Bane's a plumber too. Okay, good. I like that.
He's a strong plumber. He could unclog that toilet in like half a second. I think it's really interesting. NBA doesn't get enough credit for marketing, but look at how many games they crammed in like the first week. A lot of teams basically play 3 and 4 nights, and like when you hit and you capture attention. and it seems subtle, but like NBA has been nonstop since opening tip, and I think there's something to that.
I like that. Let me give you something I hadn't thought of. You bring up a great point. In football, even if you're going to compare those two, which are both doing great things, Mahomes has a bad week and loses to Josh Allen. You have a whole week of sales and people, panicking until he goes out there and demolishes the
Correct.
Niners, but you got to wait a whole week. Anthony Simons goes out and starts off like shit. You don't have enough time to panic because last night he goes out and has, he has 22 points in a quarter. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Now, he works both ways. He may go out there and put up a stinker tomorrow, but
like Ja's really interesting for me because if you guys watch the Grizz, the supporting cast this year is clearly worse than last year, but Ja feels like he took a step up. So honestly, you're going to see him do insane stuff. His usage, this is going to be like the year this is going to be his Westbrook year in a lot of ways, in my opinion. A little bit of a worse team, and he's riding that momentum in the high. His shot looks a little bit better. He's athletic. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to jump like that, realistically. But like this is a year where his usage is going to be Luka-esque, and it's going to be really interesting for his cards.
It's actually scary.
Yeah,
because I think you made a great comparison, which is Westbrook. Imagine if the hobby was the way it is now when Westbrook had his triple-double year, his MVP year. People would be all over Westbrook's cards would be selling for Steph Curry prices.
Westbrook was fantastic.
What do they sell for now?
Go back and watch like MVP year Westbrook, and maybe even just 1 or 2 years before. He was Ja. He was dunking on people's heads. OKC has really good fans, so it's interesting. But like this year, Ja's gonna have some insane numbers. And how about Dame and 4-0, 4-0?
It's Dame time.
What other topics did you have, dude? I think
was it losing McCollum? I mean, is there spacing there? Like I know you're a CJ.
Dame had basically a year off, so he got to rest his body. That's a big deal, man.
I like Dame. I like Portland.
Games. Think about that. 82 games for playoffs. They play 3 times longer than a NCAA season.
Portland's another one of those teams, though, that you can't really expect them to be there playing meaningful games at the end of the season just because you've been burned by that enough times.
You get 2 role players on that team. They've got Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant's
awesome, by the way. He's very good.
But you get Miles Turner's been a guy that's been around for a minute.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
The only thing
Eric
they need
Gordon
to do
is another one
they need to bolster up their second unit so that they don't give up the lead. They need to sign Carmelo Anthony back. He was there. They loved him there. Bring him off the bench and let him heat it up. I got to
tell you, if you guys think I don't like LeBron, Melo's terrible defender, mid-range shooter, and he's kind of slow.
Melo mood has got you. It's an underrated Marley.
Have you seen Giannis? Is Giannis still a terrible investment?
Yeah, you know what's weird? The more I look at the cards from his rookie year, the more I don't like them. They're ugly. That may be the ugliest national treasures out there. Seriously, like as nice as the Steph year national treasure. I know it's not vertical. I know it's like a horizontal one, but as nice as those looked, Giannis has got the ugliest national treasures. It's just ugly.
His Immaculate's really nice.
Yeah, the Immaculate's nice. Yeah, no, the Immaculate's nice. That treasure's kind of ugly.
I think Giannis is going to be a prism gold. I think Giannis is going to be a prism gold.
Unfortunately for Giannis, is that Giannis is one of the few poster children for the blow up. All you have to do is look at when Otia Sports posts those stacks, and it's like the Luka base, the Giannis base, the Zion base, like those are the if when somebody looks back at this and says, remember the boom and the bust, and now we're back where we need to be, and somebody needs to write a book or an article or a Sports Illustrated magazine, the Giannis Prism is going to be one of the cards that is the poster child.
Is it on the iconic 100?
I don't think so.
It's interesting. Job's not finished.
I didn't vote for it.
The community wants to know: Are you going to finish the Pokemon set once and
No, absolutely not. The community wants to know. I am not. As a matter of fact, I only own as we sit here talking about this. I only own about 15 of the cards.
You did not. You're such a piece.
Yep, I am not.
You didn't call me.
Somebody reached out to me and offered me a Zard for under 2. And I said, there was a time that I would have jumped all over that opportunity, and now that's not the case. So I'm not a set builder anymore. That's what I decided. I decided that the set building is basically a waste of money. And we need set builders out there, right? Everybody should be a set builder. It used to be what the hobby's based on. And I sat there at the National and at Chantilly this past week and saw guys putting their sets together, their old vintage sets, you name it, the whole deal. No, because I'd rather sell the Caterpie and the Star Me and the Beedrill and stack them and get a more iconic hollow. I'd rather put them together and get another Blastoise.
You guys are privileged. You're privileged because you're getting a peek inside Cage's brain that maybe I get the benefit, and I always wish I capture it. So you guys do. In the beginning of this show, he asks Andrew what I think the next thing is if PMGs were that, like, that generations, but they don't do what the next. And then he's gonna sit here and tell you guys that him and Ian open Pokemon every Friday night.
Yeah. Modern.
So he's here selling his Pokemon First Edition PSA 10 set when Ian is opening Pokemon every single Friday, and that's what he loves. And asking Andrew what is next, and you know the answer.
No, but so what I did was I gave the set to Ian, and I said, which one of these cards should we keep? Because he's going to know better than me. He knows the Pokemon. He knows which ones his friends will one day seem, wow, that's a cool one. And he pulled out a stack. Some of them I was a little surprised about. Some of them I wasn't. And what he said, let's keep these. We kept them. Mewtwo we kept. Yeah. We kept Mewtwo. But some of the hollows, I was surprised that he wanted. Some of the hollows, he was like, eh. Some of the non-hollows, he was like, yeah, I like those. Some of them, goodbye. See you later. We don't really need it.
You want to share some?
So he likes Alakazam, which is card number 1 of the set. And I think it's a
great name.
It's a Pokemon that they stopped making. So there's not, according to him, it doesn't actually, they don't have it in a bunch of sets, and now they just brought it back recently, so it's in modern stuff. So he sees it, he likes it, but there's not a lot of like older sets that have it. So he was basically saying a scarcity argument on it, which is funny, and it's something I didn't know. So he held on to that one. There are some rare ones in the set, like trainer ones like LASS, that I think I paid like $2,500 for, even though it's not a hollow. It's it's a non-hollow. It's just like a rarer one in PSA 10, like lower pop. And he doesn't give a shit about that. So he's like, I don't need that. All right, well, we're gonna get rid of it. That's go ahead.
What about Blastoise?
We kept that, yeah. We kept that. And the big, though, I don't have the big 3, but 2
about
of the big
Chansey?
3 I kept Chansey. I don't think he said
that's the chick magnet.
I don't think he said to keep it, but I kept it anyway.
That's the chick magnet.
I kept it anyway. Because even you know about Chansey. You know what that pulls down. You pull out your Chansey
assisting
and boom.
coaches in the NFL.
Lucky little egg. Lucky little egg. Look,
any other topics that we didn't cover before we wrap?
Listen, this was a fun episode. We talk about sports. This was a fun episode of 2 dudes drinking a beer at a bar talking about cards, right? You talk about like some of your wins, some of your losses, some of your platforms, some of this stuff. I enjoy that.
Fatties.
I mean, you don't drink the beer. You're pulling on your thingamajig, your Carson Wanks. No, I mean, listen, what I will say is this. Pay for your Bailey Zappies if you went and bought them last night, guys. Don't be that person. Don't be the person who clicked buy it on eBay or ComC when he had those 2 drives and went crazy and then started to suck. Don't be that guy who was like, you know what? I bought it. I was going to capitalize on it. But guess what?
I went on social and I was seeing all these posts about Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones, etc. And then I would go on Score Mobile and there's a drive link and it's and I was like, okay, what did he do? And it was 3 passes. Yeah. So I was expecting these long drives, 10.
Well, he was throwing to Devontae Parker, who's making some great catches.
Yeah, he made 3 passes, 2 drives, right? Completed 3 passes.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first one he came in, he threw a pass. That was a touchdown. The next one he came in, he threw another pass to Parker, who caught it. And then there was a touchdown pass. Yes. And
was one touchdown pass I never saw.
What was crazy about it is as you're watching it happen, the crowd just completely turned on Mac Jones. And it was especially there, it was like the second coming of Brady. And all of social media was killing Mac Jones, booing Mac Jones. He's done. I can't believe it. He's finished. Like a whole region turned on Mac Jones in a second because of his ankle injury.
Well, it's not because of that. He just has a floppy arm. It's not his fault. We all have genetics.
For a quarter, Zappy was great. And then he became what he is. He's not Brady. And he didn't look so hot either. And I know in that hour where he was Cinderella and the dress and glass slippers fit and he was dancing with Prince Charming, people were on eBay and ComC and just mashing, Bailey Zappi, buying. And by the end of the game, they were thinking of the dog ate my homework type of excuses to send. Don't be that person. I mean...
You think so?
Yeah, I'm certain of it. You gambled.
There's a cool graphic I saw. It was like the last, maybe, for 40 first round draft picks that are quarterbacks. And it was like 3 are Hall of Famers, 5 have good careers, and the rest have either terrible careers or borderline terrible. Mm-hmm. It's so hard to find a good quarterback. All 3 of those, I think all 3 of them are. Well, I haven't watched Bailey Zappi, but I don't think Mac Jones is very good, and Justin Fields is no burner either.
No, Fields had a great game last night because of his athleticism and because there were so many interceptions and turnovers. You cannot play quarterback in the NFL that way. He made plays with his legs. That'll get him a couple wins here.
Is he as athletic as Lamar?
No.
And he's not even nearly as good of a passer.
But he plays in a little. I mean, I was going to say better control, but no. I mean, somebody hit him and. He bounced the ball off his own knee and fumbled it, but he recovered it. It's a similar style.
Lamar struggles, and I think Lamar is faster, more athletic, and a better thrower, and I think he's taller.
Lamar has, I think, a stronger arm than Fields, definitely. But, I mean, Fields is young. He could develop. He could develop an arm. I mean, people said Hurts was a run-first quarterback also, and, clearly he's developed a little more consistency from the passing side.
Surrounded by some talent, dude.
That's true.
Or it's surrounded
it's true. I like Mooney.
A.J. Brown, who's basically a tight end, and then you have Devontae, and then you have all these other playmakers. I mean,
he definitely has weapons. He 100% Miles Sanders is a dump off option. He definitely has some weapons. Although Fields has some weapons too.
How do you feel your whatnot record is going halfway through the season?
It's good. It's good. I was 42-35 coming into this week. I had another winning week. I mean, we've only had 1 week where we were really bad.
Week 4, right?
Yeah, week 1 was pretty bad too. We've been pretty good. I mean, there was 1 week we were 13-3. Where you're not going to have that every week. But we go 7-6, 8-5. We're making money. We're chopping wood,
digging holes,
doing whatever. We're doing. I don't want to dig any holes. I don't want to have to dig out of any holes. But yeah, man. I mean, I love that whatnot show. I love football. I can't. Ian and I were throwing a ball around yesterday, and he's like, I can't believe football is already almost half over. I mean, this week is basically midway point, right? It's a 17-game season.
And there's always that midway lull, too, 8 through 13. And there's always that extra week. Guys, take a look at some Messi stuff. I got to tell you.
Leo.
Something that isn't always captured in a comp. I'll give you an example. So on PWCC, there was a 2017 Select Checkerboard PSA 10. Pop 14, not numbered, but a Pop 14. Iconic set 2017 Select Field Level. That card was actually at 200 when it got to extended bidding. Myself and another guy pushed it to 450 because it's a cool card. But that shows me that the Messi market in general is very soft. Because there should be 3, 4, 5 bidders for that card with 1 month away from the World Cup. That's a Pop 14 2017 Select. That's not a $200 card of the greatest soccer player. And I'm so surprised that market is that soft. And you could apply that to Ronaldo. I've always been a Messi guy, but you can apply that to Ronaldo. The World Cup is 1 month away, and UEFA sucks at marketing. Actually, they don't really market, if I could be honest.
What scares me about soccer is exactly what scared me.
But when the World Cup's on, all eyes are on the World Cup.
That's very true. What scares me about soccer cards, though, is just because all eyes are on the World Cup doesn't mean all eyes are buying the cards. And what scares me about soccer is what I've been saying now for 2 years, is that people who are buying soccer cards are not soccer fans. People who are buying soccer cards are people who
Fine.
made money in cards and thought, let me get in on the next thing. Like, I didn't know who the hell Mbappe was, but I had 100 of his damn Prism cards. Why?
Let me
Because
just
I was trying to
contextualize it for you.
make money on it.
I don't think. Do you watch the soccer market? Realistically, be honest.
No, of course not.
Okay, so when people think of a market, they just like. I'll explain what. Okay, the prices of soccer cards are not nearly as expensive as basketball and football. So everything you're saying about soccer is true, but I'm telling you a card of the greatest of all time. It's a top 14 of 2017 Select Field Level, which is like Mbappe's rookie year. It's a really popular set.
Yeah, I know what it looks like. Okay, it's a nice card.
That was a $200 card. So I'm not saying that was 20,000 or even 2,000. Right. I'm saying that $200. That's a relatively cheap buy-in point for a card like that.
I get that. I guess what I'm saying on the counter is
I got a Pulisic auto, Prism auto for $100, Cage.
These are the kind of cards though that people were buying and adding to their collection because they were making money and they said, all right, you know what? I made some money on basketball, I made some money on baseball, I made some money on football.
But they've come down.
Go to soccer. Exactly. Why do you think they've come down? Because I'll get to it. What I said 2 years ago was when people need to sell, when people are trimming their collection, when they're trimming the fat, when the market starts to come down, the first thing they're going to sell are the fringe sports. They're going to sell their soccer cards. They're going to sell their stuff.
I'm trying
to
you're saying
buy it now and hold it.
I think it's been trimmed. Mbappe. So you remember the Mbappe stickers? Remember the whole sticker?
Yeah. Yep.
PSA 10s were in the hundreds.
Yep.
You know how much 2 PSA 10s sold for? $55 and 64.
But is your thought that those are now going to go back up, even though the pop on them is going to continue to grow?
I don't think that the pop on those are going to continue to grow. Stickers are not that easy to grade, and I think most of the stickers that have wanted to be graded have been graded.
Okay, so that's fine. So here we go. So guys, Andrew is not saying buy all Mbappe, buy all Messi. Now, what he's saying is he found the Messi card that he found that only had a pop 14.
Yes,
those are the kind of cards that have been
level.
Beaten down and still have a pop that's going to remain where it is not going to be a continued supply coming in. Those are the cards that can see a nice little pickup back up, either when the market turns or World Cup or a combination of both. I like it.
And it's not rocket science.
But stick with the greats. Stick with the names. Stick with the,
Mbappe's fantastic. You're getting his rookie card or his sticker rookie for $55-$60 with the World Cup one month away.
I only own one Mbappe card, and it's the wrong one. My Panini Instant.
Well, dude, strong opinions loosely held, or strong beliefs loosely held. You have strong beliefs strongly held. You won't even look at soccer until it's too late, and then you're gonna be like, why did I not buy Messi?
Well, because I'm listening. So here's the thing, right? Like, if I'm buying soccer, it's not because I love it. It's not because I think Messi's awesome. It's because I think there's an opportunity for me to make money in 6 months or 3 months or whatever it is, and that's not the way that I do it. You know what I mean?
Soccer?
I'm not going to watch soccer.
You're a co-host who you talk to all the time. That was his first love.
I know, man, but
did I not explain transitive property to you?
You did. You explained it, and know that Haaland has 17 goals, and his closest competition is Harry Kane with 12. And I know he's scoring at a 1.64 goal clip per game.
Can I tell you
and he's on the pace to make some records. And Kane's season would be kind of historic too if it wasn't for Haaland doing what he's doing, which should also show you, I guess.
You know how much Kane's sticker and Kane's refractor from 2017 is? Like, just give me a number for PSA 10. Snobby.
For a PSA 10. Well, if Mbappe's PSA 10 sticker is $55, I'll say Kane's 32.
Yeah. And then how about the refractor from 2017 Topps Chrome?
You bought a Messi field level for $400. I'll say the Kane is $85.
Yes, you're confusing brands, but it was actually 70.
All right, there you go.
Messi was Select Panini, and this was Topps Chrome. But
it's old same shit. It's all shiny shit in soccer that I don't even know anything about.
My favorite thing about Haaland, I'll wrap with this. All you guys have played sports know this too. Like, he's relentless at attacking, no matter if he has 1 goal, 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals under his belt. And usually people let up. Kobe actually talked about this in basketball. Like, some guys get to 20 and stop. Some guys get to 30 and stop. He wanted to that's how you get to 81. Haaland, he's as relentless from the first goal to the second goal to the third goal to the fourth goal. And you don't see that often.
Before you let go, we make fun of what Panini does to Zion because they always use fat pictures for him. Can you do me a favor and pull up Haaland Kaboom? Okay,
You didn't like the photo, Road to Qatar?
pull up the Haaland Kaboom. I don't know. Does he have more than one Kaboom?
I thought he only has the
Road to Qatar. Just put in
yeah.
Haaland Kaboom. Don't do Qatar or whatever it is. It's the one.
You
Okay,
think
so
his
click
mouth
on
is
that one.
his mouth is too big?
Now zoom in on that. They made him a fat bald man. Zoom in on his face. Like you can't see his little ponytail. You can't zoom in here. Come on, that's it. Pull it in there. They just made him a fat bald guy. Look at him. There's no hair. He's just who is that? Is that
He looks like Voldemort.
He looks like Rooney. Like if you're just looking at the face, this could be a Wayne Rooney card. It's not Haaland. There's no ponytail. There's no glorious flowing locks. They made him bald. What they doing on there?
They're gonna push. That was probably my best buy in a while. I bought the blue Topps Chrome of his at a 150. I'm gonna sell it.
Well, there you go. But there are people buying to sell, and there are people buying because they enjoy the cards.
Well, I haven't sold yet, but it's a nice feeling when you're right. I love being right with that kind of stuff.
I mean, I must love being wrong because it happens a lot.
But I'm not gonna auction it. I'm gonna go to the Dallas Card Show next Saturday and try to move it there.
Hey now,
I think I'm gonna guys. I think I'm gonna do a day trip. It's 8 a.m. in, 8 p.m. out.
Why the hell wouldn't you?
Nation. So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.